Love's for beginners, ain't no winners. It slips through your fingers, I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna, promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being old mama, yeah, do yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Come get your future, know you wanna. She'll never betray ya, she ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming, yeah. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being old mama, yeah, do yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being old mama, yeah, do yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life.
Question: did you get a chance to meet with the royal family? And if not, how was it like having them there in the building?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
The Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh, no, I did not. I'm only familiar with one royal family. I don't know too much about that one.
Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. How's everyone today? Hope everyone is doing good. Touch Nelly, you are waxed and relaxed. Legs no longer look like a damn chai pet. Good for you, Touch Nelly. I'm so glad that you are waxed and relaxed. I am still stuffy and sick as a duck. I actually thought that I was feeling better yesterday. And today I'm even worse. I don't know what's happening. Like, I'm literally taking the highest dose I can possibly take of extra vitamin C, D, zinc, quercetin, and then all of the other medicines for colds as well. And somehow I still feel worse today. Hi. So that's why I'm doing the podcast a bit early, so I can just get to sleep early and have enough energy for tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, as always, for your well wishes. And yes, let's get into the podcast. Hi, Black Queen. How you doing? Hi, Chef Sandy Love. Thank you so much. Hi, Annie. Hi, Fancy Sonia. Hi, Mackenzie. Hi, Jessica. Brenda's here. Actually, moonshine will fix you right up. What exactly is in your moonshine? give us the recipe. Clearly, it's whatever is in your moonshine must also be in whatever this horse and Camilla was drinking also. Right, let's get into it, shall we? Okay, we've got some good news. Got some good news today. Start with the good news. So we have an upcoming appearance from Better Up. That is the mental health Oh, actually, before I get into that, guess who I spotted in the bookstore today as I walked in? If you don't already know, I am currently in Lisbon, and I walked into the bookstore, and look who I saw. The Oh god, I can't even see it on the. Wait, let me look at the picture. What it actually says in the picture. Give me so I actually get the name in Portuguese properly. Na sombra. The na sombra. That is spare in Portuguese. Prince Harry's book right there. This is the soft cover. And it actually had a free bookmark inside as well. Did anybody else get a free bookmark with their version? But yes, this is literally like right as you walked in the bookstore. So clearly the book is doing very well in various different countries. It is, of course, the fastest selling nonfiction book of all time. And that is me standing next to one of Lisbon's infamous trams. It is actually quite chilly in Lisbon at the moment. It does get chilly in January and February, just in case you were thinking about ever coming here during low season. It does get chilly, so definitely bring a coat. Right, now onto the Better Up news. Yes, Better Up, the mental health organization that Harry works with. They are going to be having an event on March the 7th to 8th. It is a 2-day summit, and this was posted on the Better Up Twitter. Uplift is an immersive 2-day summit where leaders, icons, and executives had the opportunity to learn to drive performance and support their organization's most important asset, their people. And then it goes on to say this isn't just another conference, and then it describes the event a little bit more in the Twitter thread. But aside from Prince Harry, we will also have Issa Rae, David Chang, Adam Grant, Alexi, Robbie Chu, Robin Arzon, Keith Farazi, and Josh Bessin. I don't know any of those other than Issa, and I think one of them is the Better Up CEO. But very much looking forward to it. You can either attend in person for the cool price of $9.95 in San Francisco, and that price includes an immersive workshop, fireside chats, and guided group coaching sessions. I guess you'll be in the crowd and get to hear the talks in person from all of the guests there. You get to connect and learn from your peers and fellow executives. And did we mention fantastic food and wine? But if you can't make it to San Francisco and don't want to pay the $9.95 and don't mind missing out on the food and wine, it is free and you can get a virtual ticket. So I will post that on the community tab. Actually, no, I think I have already posted. Okay, if I haven't already posted, I'll make sure to do it later. So make sure to register and can't wait for that. Okay, so the workshops are not included in the live stream. the live stream will just be selected uplift sessions, but they've got to have Harry on one of those live streams, right? Also, I saw this pop up. Usual Daily Film nonsense. Neighbours not interested. Montecito Bookstore reveals it has only sold 30 copies of Prince Harry's autobiography. Well, the biography has sold about 3 million something all around the world anyway. And most of them rich people in Montecito probably had a copy delivered to their house. And 30 copies from one bookstore is actually pretty good. Now, there has been flooding in Montecito. I don't know if people have gone back to their houses, but I have no doubt in my mind that Harry and Meghan would have done something to help the community. And that's probably why Meghan hasn't been seen, other than the fact that she's obviously always working in the background, working on her own things. And there's no reason for her to be out and about during Prince Harry's book tour anyway. Any suggestion is just ridiculous fodder from the UK tabloids. But I'm sure she's been helping out with the community, as they always do, whether there's disaster or no disaster. Right, to your comments before we continue. Oi. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button, everyone, and that subscribe button. We are roaring towards 14,000. Yes, Roman, sometimes our bodies just need to rest. Yeah, I really haven't rested. I'm actually working in a co-working space now because I can't stand to be in my room all day. But today, like halfway through the afternoon, I just wanted to sleep. I'm exhausted. And part of it is just feeling sick. Mackenzie, you should collect spare from different countries like postcards. I wish I could, but I'd have to lug it around in my suitcase. And I've got 2 medium-sized suitcases and 2 hand luggage to lug around all year. Joyce, you've already registered for the virtual viewing. Well done. Make sure to register, everyone. Oh, HMO, make sure it's not sinus infection. Yeah, do you know what? I'll give it. Yeah, you are right. I'll give it like another 2 days. And if it gets any worse, then I'll go see the doctor. Lex, thank you so much for the super chat. You said, did they mention that the bookstore only had 30? Yeah, I mean, how many copies do you want a bookstore to have? You want them to have 1,000? The fact that they ordered 30 in the first place is pretty impressive, and that's probably all the 30 that were sold, right? Thanks so much, Legs. So the bookstore actually sold out. Right, on to the next thing. Right, a little bit of UK news. I saw this headline and I just had to roll my eyes and say WTF. So they're going to stop training, or universities are being told to stop training so many doctors. I don't know how that's going to work out with a crumbling NHS and many people who actually left the medical profession during the Mr. C pandemic. There was actually quite a lot of controversy with the jabs. I think there was something like almost 100,000 staff actually threatened to walk out because they didn't want the jabs. And then a lot of those people have just decided to switch careers or never go back to medical profession. And then you also have people who helped, well, not helped, but they did overtime, double time, sacrifice so much during the pandemic, feel slapped in the face because they're not getting pay rises. They feel they're being overworked. So you've got basically you've got holes in the system now, and now they're saying don't train so many doctors. This just doesn't make any sense. I actually believe that if you want to train to be a doctor or a nurse, you shouldn't have to pay. If you are that dedicated and you want to be a doctor or a nurse and you are keeping up with your grades, there should be, at the very least, it should be subsidized by the government because these are some of the most important people in society. And now, because of everything that happened during the pandemic, we've got a huge shortage, and the system is basically at breaking point. So, when I first posted this on Instagram, somebody from Canada actually commented. They said, "Well, we did that in Canada, and now we've got a shortage." And then another thing, you've also got a lot of those people who are now dropping out of the system are going to other countries because you get paid more. No idea who made this decision or why they're making it. Also, you had this Nadhim Zawahi. He is not going to be giving any penalties for what they're claiming is innocent tax errors. Now, I believe um, he had it was millions. I think it was like 3 to 5 million or something that was missing from his claims, and um, they're meant to give him a penalty, but now they're not going to do it, and it's just wild to me because if let a normal working class person just miss a couple £100 and they're giving you fines, you're going to get jail time. But a wealthy politician who isn't paying his taxes, it's an innocent error. So unfair, and one rule for them, another rule for us. Joanna, we need many, many, many more doctors. Yeah, but honestly, like those of you who live in the UK, like you'll know what an absolute nightmare it was during the pandemic. I don't know why they're doing this. Thank you all so much for your tea remedies. Right, back to the royals. Kate and Willie were at a food bank. Now, before anybody says anything, let me just say this. Guys and dolls, we are improving, okay? Okay? Now, usually we know what Kate and William come with when they go to community centers and food bank. What do they usually come with? What does William usually say? They usually come with a...
I'm sorry we can only come and give words and comfort, but we are thinking about you the whole time and we really care about what's going on. So
sometimes that's more than financial.
Yeah. Well, if we can give you the odd smile here and there, that's important. So,
They usually come with a smile here and there. But today, we didn't just come with a smile here and there. We came with our hands ready to pick up those cans of food and help organize them. So we've gone from smiles here and there to picking up the food at the food bank and helping to organize the food. And maybe, just maybe, one day we will get to the point where we actually bring food to the food bank when we come to the food bank. But it's baby steps, everyone. It's baby steps, okay? So I don't want to see any sarcasm in the comment section. We didn't just come with a smile here and there. We got our hands dirty today, picking up those peasant cans of food. And next time, I'm so sure, we'll come with a can or two. And we'll go from a can or two to a whole carrier bag. And from a whole carrier bag to a whole trolley of food when we come to the food bank, instead of coming empty-handed. So let's applaud this progress. I mean, look at William. Look at the concentration on that man's face. Looking at that list. Mackenzie, a smile and a nod. Why Foster? Talking about taxes, would you be expected to pay taxes in England if you were to move to another country? Not if you're considered a tax resident in the other country. I know that if you are a US citizen, you're expected to pay tax abroad and in the US. But if you're a UK citizen, once you become a tax resident of the other country, you don't pay tax back home. William will never live that down. Actually, William looks a little bit more ready to work. Kate's in a very fitted pantsuit to be doing food bank work. Joan Hickey just picking it up for the camera. Yes, Benjamin, they don't bring anything. They just bring a smile here and there. Oh, yeah, be strong. They almost broke a sweat. They almost broke a sweat. It's baby steps, everyone. It's baby steps. One of these days, I'm telling you, Kate's gonna roll up to that food bank with a whole can of beans. William is gonna have a whole packet of oatmeal. It's gonna happen, I'm telling you. Janine, that's not a food bank, that's her own pantry. uh, Joyce, they spend about 15 minutes putting food in the bag. Harry and Meghan look more like CEO than watching William and Kate do clean up work. Who's the king now? Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have a choice. He needs to work in order for him to do something to be king. Well, so far they've produced nothing particularly impactful. Earth flop was a flop, and oh my goodness, I don't have the video to show you, but Kate went to a meeting and she was talking about the early years project. And what struck me about this meeting was two things. Number one, you can barely understand what she's actually saying because half of the time she's actually mumbling. Like now I'm actually starting to understand what people mean when they say that she mumbles a lot. And what got me even more about this particular clip was she said that she's excited to start the journey. And she said basically the exact same thing that I heard her say when she met with First Lady Joe Biden. Pretty much any time she's had meetings talking about the early years project. I'm excited to get started. We will talk about what's important to parents, but nothing actually impactful. It doesn't seem like anything is moving forward. And I just don't understand how we're at this point of whatever this project is, and it's really produced nothing impactful, and she's just saying the same things over and over again. So what is going on with her team and what is going on with this project? It's almost as if they get her to come to these events surrounded by all of these experts. They say the exact same thing, and it's just for the photos because you barely get any video or audio. And now I understand why. Because she's not saying anything new. And this week, I counted maybe, I don't even know how many, this is just a snapshot of some of the articles that they've been writing. All to do with her clothes. Nothing to do with the project at all. All to do with clothes. Like, this is sad. This is really sad. Oi. H-Night, you won't hold your breath on that one. Listen, I'm telling you. Let's make a bet. I bet I bet £100 that one day they will show up to a food bank with a can of beans. It's gonna happen. Rahini, I would be more impressed if they paid for all the food. Listen, Rahini, let's not push too hard too fast. Okay? A can of beans first, and 3 can of beans eventually will get to like they'll show up with the whole pantry in like 5 years. Because we know how slow these people are. Baby step, baby brain, improving. Oh, guys. We have to find the humor in this sometimes. Otherwise, you just get worked up at the fact that these people are so wealthy and so privileged, and they show up to food banks empty handed. Rahini, it's cleaning season. Yes, it's cleaning season. Right. On to the next thing. Piers Moron. Piers Moron is in trouble. And you know how I know that Piers Moron is in trouble? Because he's saying somewhat nice things about the Sussexes. So he said that he would love to interview Meghan and Harry for final showdown before moving on. We could get it off our chest. Where's the we, sir? Where is the we? This is how a stalker behaves. They are obsessed with someone and they believe that there is a relationship there. Mind you, there was never a relationship there in the first place. Piers Moron is no different from any other journalist, and I say that with a small j, that Meghan had interactions with online before she entered the royal fold. As celebrities often do. They talk to personalities, bloggers, online sometimes, especially when they're trying to get press for their show or whatever project they're doing. So Piers Moron was no different from any other media personality that Meghan was conversating with online at the time. And as soon as news came out that Meghan and Harry were dating, Piers Morgan wanted a piece of the pie. He wanted in the club. And Harry, I'm sure, let Meghan know exactly who this fraud who's been able to reinvent himself over and over again, scandal after scandal, he let his woman know who this man was. And Meghan wanted nothing to do with that mess from then on. And from that time, he went on a crusade to destroy her name. And he has said that the royal family thanked him. And he took a picture outside of Kensington Palace and put the caption, I think it was Team Palace or something like that. And he was at Camilla's lunch along with Jeremy Clarkson just before that nasty article came out. And now he's saying, I've been very fortunate, all the biggest stars in the world, there aren't many left, he said. I do think the Duke and Duchess of Sussex would be great for them and for me. I think that would be one of those meetings of minds where we could get it off of our chest and move on. You want to meet with someone, you want to meet with Meghan, who you said you didn't believe that she felt suicidal. You said that on national TV in front of the whole of the United Kingdom and the world. And now you're acting as if you're, old friends that had a little fallout and you just want to have a chin wag and get it off your chest. What he's trying to do is put himself in a situation where it looks to the public like he had a friendly patch up with the Sussexes, because the court case involving him and Murdoch and Rebecca Brooks is coming. And if he is behaving like this, to me, this is a sign that he knows he's in trouble. I don't know exactly what is in that court case. I don't know what evidence is in that court case. But I think if he thought that he had a good chance of winning, I don't think he'd be talking like this. I think he's attempting to make amends before ish goes down. This man is still at the beginning of the stages of grief. Denial and anger. I think the only place he's actually moved is to anger. Oh, actually, he might be at bargaining, because that's what he's trying to do now. Yes, he's at bargaining. He's at bargaining. When he loses the upcoming court case, he'll get to depression, but he will never get to acceptance. Oh, and gentle reminder, his book sold about 5,000 copies. Failure. Miss Mac, what William and Kate should be showing up with is a check. Exactly. Yes, Aja, this man is obsessed and sick. Because he's gotten away with so much for so long. Benjamin, he comes off as unhinged. Who in their right mind would hire him? Rupert Murdoch, apparently. And for a lot of money. Well, he's going to need that money for this court case. Levy, the Morgan delusion. Could write a whole book and give it that title. Joanna, Piers Morgan is so thirsty. He invented have drinks with the Duchess. Someone remind him the royal family may have thanked him, but the monarch gave the title of Duchess to Meg as a gift. What have they gifted Piers? Well, he is really desperate for a royal honor, isn't he? And that whole thing about him having drinks with Meghan, we've never seen evidence that they had drinks. And Piers Morgan has a picture with every famous person that he's met. Yes, Madwell, they need to hit him with a restraining order. I mean, if he was a normal man, he would have been hit with a restraining order a long time ago. And yet somehow, because he's a pirate with a press card and a TV show, he's able to leverage his platform with his huge audience to incite hatred against someone. I don't understand how this is legal. Someone who has done nothing to him and nothing to anyone else. And if he loses this court case, and I think he will, where else can he go after this? Right now, that court case is lying mostly in the shadows because the people the court case is against is the actual press. You see, this is the other thing, right? Nobody really knows about the court case. I mean, Harry talked about it in the ITV interview, and I think for a lot of people, that'll be the first time they're hearing about it. I've seen it printed in a couple of publications, like I think the Daily Beast did an article about it. But nobody really knows about this case because it's against Morgan, who is part of the media establishment. So the media establishment is not going to report on court cases they have against them. This is one of the reasons why I feel like the phone hacking scandal was never as big as it should have been, because the media weren't reporting on it because the case was against the media. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. And that's why it's so important that we build our own platforms, folks. Because there's not many places that talk about what we talk about on our platforms, especially when it comes to royal family in the media. Benjamin, people like him are faithful to nobody. His only card left is secrets about the royals. Yeah, that's true. And goodness knows what he'll let out the bag or what he'll threaten people with. if it means saving himself. In fact, did any of you actually go and watch that documentary I recommended, Star Suckers? Because they talk about Piers Morgan and they talk about a deal that was done where I think something was exchanged in return for like pictures of the prime minister's baby or something like that. I have to go back and watch exactly what it was, but if you go and watch that documentary, because there's a lot about the British media in that is really, really interesting. It's called Star Suckers by Chris Atkins. You should be able to find it on YouTube because it's so old now. Joyce, the Daily Mail didn't get the dismissal they asked for, so the case is going to trial. Yes. Compton Cali girl. Piers will be living life on the dole. Well, depends on how much he has to shell out. I mean, the charges that the Daily Mail are facing, they're really, they're really serious. I don't know what that looks like in terms of jail time, but for sure they're going to get fined heavily. Valerie, oh, you watched it. It was excellent. Fantastic. Faya, what was the docu called? It's called Star Suckers. Star Suckers by Chris Atkins. Right. Just give me a sec before we go on to the next thing. Oh, I'm so glad that I did the podcast early today because I'm going to be able to get some rest. Right. Yes. I saw this brilliant thread by Anne Boleyn, and I really wanted to read it out because it was very interesting. So, this is Anne Boleyn on Twitter. Go follow her because she posts very, very thoughtful things about Harry and Meghan. She's also in Spaces sometimes. So she said, one of the most bizarre moments of my life was when a British journalist ended up in my DMs a few months back. She followed, but didn't officially follow my account. She wanted to give me her perspective. I thought about it for a while and decided to finally share. Now, she doesn't name the person. She just talks about what happened in the DMs. She explained her thoughts on the system. She explained her story, the cutthroat nature of the business, and why she and other British journalists fought so hard to maintain the status quo. A lot of it boiled down to this is the way it's done, can't change it. As an American, that concept is bizarre. We are born believing that everything can be changed. But I won't get into British and American philosophical differences. What struck me was a pseudo acknowledgement that the attacks against Harry and Meghan were real. She followed with a long defense of why she has to do what she does, that there's an order to things, and stressed the importance of her career, her struggle to get where she is, her frustration with Harry and Meghan fighting the system. So never mind the fact that you have created an environment where radicals want to kill this woman and her family. You have created an environment of hate where people are more focused on this couple than they are on the crumbling system around them. It's all about you and your career. And saying that's the way it's done, can't change it. No, it can actually change. You just don't want it to change because all you're thinking about is your cash grab. It can change. Every single one of those rodent reporters tomorrow can humble themselves and say, do you know what? We lied. We were part of this big elaborate scheme. We are sorry and we are going to make things right. They can all do that tomorrow. Camilla Tominey the liar can do that tomorrow. Angela Latrine can do that tomorrow. Roy Anika can do that tomorrow. Chris Ship can do that tomorrow. Victoria, I lost my eyelashes arbiter, can do that tomorrow. But they won't, because they have no integrity. Right. Amber Lynn goes on to say, our entire exchange revolved around her struggle to get in the business, to stay in the business, and desire to get a place professionally where her words carried more weight. This is my life, you see. Yes, I said, as well as Harry and Meghan's. So she says her desire to get to a place professionally where her words carried more weight. Well, why not be a journalist that actually focuses on real issues that affect people? Instead of making up lies for tabloid fodder to make money off the back of hate. And then Amber Lynn goes on to say, and that's where the disconnect really became apparent. She could only see her own career, the time that she had put into the industry, and her desperation to keep it going because that was the order of things. To change career paths seemed absolutely terrifying to her. So you know what that says to me? If this hate on Harry and Meghan train comes to an end, if, as Harry said, if they are exposed and they lose control, they are all finished. They've got nothing. All of them, they've got nothing. Because honestly, where do they go after this? They have proven, and they have now been exposed to people that have no journalistic integrity, no real ability actually to do good journalistic work. So beyond this, what do they have and what do they do? After you've been a royal rota rat for most of your journalistic career, what do you do? Who's going to hire you? The best you can probably do is do what Meghan does. Run to YouTube and just hate on people you don't know. Okay, and then Amber Lynn goes to say, this is a very real industry, and a lot of the people writing these horrible stories about Harry and Meghan don't see their own agency or power. They view themselves as cogs in the wheel, and many are furious that Harry and Meghan would dare make their jobs any harder. I mean, did they think that they really thought that this was going to last forever, didn't they? And it just shows how much that they have attached themselves so much to this institution. I mean, the good times have been rolling for these people, and very, very soon, it's all going to come to an end, and they're panicking. Oh, actually, there was a... Okay, sorry, there was the last part as well. Her words reminded me of an incident that happened several years ago in which a wealthy woman in my small hometown lost her daughter to cancer. I was about 8 years old when I heard a friend's mum say, yes, it's horrible, but she's rich. She will be fine. And that's the same attitude expressed when it comes to the British press treatment of Harry and Meghan. They are rich, they will be fine. Meanwhile, the journalists who write about them obsess over their careers, their upward mobility, and the day their voices matter the most. And now we're at a point where their voices are mattering less and less and less. But they built their careers off the back of lies and propaganda. So what did they expect? If the attitude they have is, well, Harry and Meghan are rich, they'll be fine. Well, then I'd turn around to them and say, well, what were you expecting? You'd be able to have careers forever off the back of lies? So these journalists, they know, actually, I'm not going to call them journalists, these press rats know exactly what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and they don't care about the consequences of what they are doing. Because like I always say, this has gone beyond just Harry and Meghan now. Meghan is a symbol of many things. Of people of color, of justice, of equality, of feminism, of women's voices. And a lot of what has happened to her is, as Sophia Noble said in the Netflix documentary, symbolic annihilation. You go after someone who is in the public eye, who represents all of those things in the hopes that you will scare others into not also standing up for what they believe in. Right. That is pretty much all I had to say. The good news is that there are some journalists who are taking notice. There was a brilliant article in the New York Times. Prince Harry is right, and it's not just a matter of royal gossip. And I think this at least shows that there are some people who understand that there is more. There is more to this than just Harry and Meghan's story. Um, and also the director of the Netflix documentary, she spoke in Vanity Fair. She spoke about how she wanted to connect the dots on larger historical issues, and I'm not going to read the article because it's quite long, but it's definitely worth the read, and it was great to actually hear from her finally. I think it's great that they let the documentary come out and they let it speak for itself, and now she is speaking as the director of this documentary. So definitely go and read that. And this is just a picture of when they were on set filming. Lovely picture there. But yeah, that's all I had to say. I will just end as I always do with your comments. And we'll call it a day. Thank you so much, everyone, for being patient with me while I battle being sick. Hopefully, I'll be a lot better in the coming days. Right. Sonia, did Piers is Pierce's wife back from her sabbatical? What was it, a 6-week sabbatical from their marriage? If we hear that she is divorcing him, that's how you know that Piers Morgan is going to lose his court case. Because if he's going to lose, he's going to have to give a huge payout, and our good sis is going to want her money. Mackenzie, if Murdoch is making everyone's life hell from sea to shining sea, I hope everyone will eventually come together and stop him. He just has too much leverage, I think. He knows too much. And that seems to be what's protecting him. Linda, is this the same class action suit coming late March? I think there's this suit, yes, and then there's 2 other suits also. Oh, thank you, Church Nelly, for posting Starsuckers Part 1 and 2. Thank you. Definitely go and watch it. Brilliant documentary. Oh yes, Wendy, thank you so much for bringing that up. Yes, Virginia Giuffre will be releasing a memoir. So good on her for finally getting to speak her truth. But it's not just about her speaking her truth. It's about how are we as the British public going to hold these people accountable? America, Murdoch is destroying journalism across the world. He already has. Certainly in Australia and the UK and the US. He very much already has. It's what are we going to do to mend that now? Yes, Black Queen, gossip mongering is more like it. Yes, miss, they are so invested in the Sussex hate industry. And it's literally that. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry to hate. DT, those VAR reporters should be binned. Well, the flip side of all of this is that, in a way, you could say that those writers are a symptom of the problem, because the only reason they're able to make money from what they write is because people read it. If nobody was reading it, they wouldn't make money. So we also need to be looking at, why is it that people love to consume this content so much? They are evil, yes, but they are simply serving the market. And there is a market for this hate. And we need to ask ourselves, how did we get here? There's something very unhealthy deep inside in people. Because if there wasn't, then this machine wouldn't be so profitable. April, mate, I want a shirt like that. You can probably look for it on Etsy. Oh, sorry, I had to cough. I didn't see a link where this picture was posted, so I'm sorry, I can't give you the link. Unless you just go like make that text on Canva and then go on Vistaprint and have it printed on a jumper. Oh, thank you so much, Dandiva. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. All right. Who's going to get the last word of the day before I clock out and go to sleep? Oh, thank you so much, Wonder Will. I'm going to have I've got pumpkin soup. So hopefully that should make me feel better. Compton, you said that Murdoch tried to get a $1.6 billion lawsuit against him dropped by saying freedom of speech, and the judge didn't go for it. Is that the lawsuit with the voting machine thing? I remember a squaddy talking about that in another podcast. Yeah, Harlem is the sweatshirt available to purchase. I'm sorry, I do not know where you can purchase that jumper, I'm afraid. But you can just go on Canva, make the text, and then just put it through Vistaprint. All right, Joyce, I'm going to give you the last word of the day. Goodbye, everyone, and thank you so much. I hope I will feel better. Have a great evening. And will I see you tomorrow? I might not see you tomorrow because my friend's coming, but I'll likely see you over the weekend. All right. Say bye to Camilla, everyone. Say bye to Camilla. Have a great day, evening, everyone. Ciao.
Love's for beginners, ain't no winners. It slips through your fingers. I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna. Promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being old mama, yeah, to yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Come get your future. Know you wanna, she'll never betray ya. She ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming. Yeah, baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being old mama, yeah, to yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Be you and keep looking
And we've got some breaking news on that book by Prince Harry, Spare, as it's called. It is the UK's fastest selling non-fiction book on record, we are hearing. And it's sold figures of 400,000 copies so far. That's across hardback, ebook, audio formats. On its first day of publication, 400,000 copies have been sold. The Transworld Penguin Random House, the publisher, said, quote, "We always knew this book would fly, but it is exceeding even our most bullish expectations. As far as we know, the only books to have sold more in their first day are those starring the other Harry, i.e. Harry Potter. But according to the latest data we have, it is the fastest UK selling non-fiction book on record." And Harry was paid $20 million for that book, we are told. So the publishers are getting a bit of their money back already.